morning, good afternoon or good evening depending on when you're watching this video. Thanks for tuning in here. As always, I'm ThaMies. I'm dropping in for another battle, and this time I've got something special for you guys. I'm making a video about a new team I built, and it's for the Uber tier. And I'm very new to the Uber tier, so everything is going to be new for me, including team building. The opponents I'm going to face are going to be new for me, so there's a lot to learn, and I hope you guys will enjoy it and learn with me. So if you're hyped, stick around, leave a like if you like it, and let's get into the team. Starting off this team, I'm using Lugia, and Lugia brings back memories, guys. I remember when I got my first Pokemon game, I played through it and got my Lugia. Oh, it was awesome. And if catching Lugia is that cool, then I hope playing it with it on Showdown will be just as much fun. So that's why I'm starting off with Lugia. I decided to use Recover, Calm Mind, Aeroblast and Ice Beam for coverage. The idea here is get some Calm Minds up and then recover back up to multi-skill, and if that happens then I'm pretty set and he can most of the time sweep through my opponent's team. If Lugia fails, however, I've got another Pokemon waiting, and that's the Mega Salamence. He got boosted up to Ubers pretty fast. I never got a real chance to use him in OU, so I'm hyped that I can use him now. I am using the basic moves on Salamence: Dragon Dance, Double Edge, Earthquake and Rock Slide. And I must say it's a lot of fun to use this one. Next up is Groudon. Of course, it's the Primal Groudon. Every Ubers team should have at least one Primal in my opinion. It's so much fun to use them, and I decided to go for Groudon. He really fits in my team, and I'm using the basic set here. Also Rock Polish. If I get a chance to sweep with him, then I really need my Rock Polish up to outspeed my opponent. But even without it, Earthquake, Fire Punch, Stone Edge, nothing really switches into this mon. His attack is amazing, so watch out for Groudon. He can really tear a team apart. Darkrai is a Pokemon I've never used before. I never used him on my Game Boy, I've never used him in game, and I decided to give this one a try, and man, it's a lot of fun. Dark Void, he's fast, he puts Pokemon to sleep, and it's a good way to start a game, especially Focus Sash, meaning that he will always live the first turn. Hopefully get a Dark Void off and you're set. You have a very good start in the game. And if you never used Darkrai before, you should. It's a lot of fun. Then we get the Red Danger, guys, Scissor himself. This is my favorite Pokemon of all time. Scissor should be in every team, or at least I would like it to be. I know it can't always be, but it's so much fun. He uses Choice Band, and the goal on this team for Scissor, his job to do is basically take care of any Xerneas that wants to set up. I can switch in on the setup move, use Bullet Punch for a lot of damage, and most of the times a 2-hit KO to make sure that he can't sweep me. So a very important one, but also just look at him, it's beautiful. The last member of my team is Palkia. I really needed a water type, so I decided to go with Palkia. I was thinking about using another Primal, but I decided that one is enough for my team. So I've used Palkia with Assault Vest to take special hits. His move slots are, well, they really provide a wide coverage, of course. Spatial Rent, Hydro Pump, Thunderbolt and Drago Meteor. So I wanna know, is this team really gonna be able to get me a decent rating? What do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below if you see anything wrong with this team or you see improvements. I'm open to suggestions as always, and I really like the feedback. So if you see something, please leave a comment down below. It will be a lot of fun for me to see response of you guys, and I will try them out. So let's get into the battle. I am playing this guy, Beyond R, and He has a very dangerous team. He also has a Lugia, which is always difficult to deal with. He's using 2 primal Pokemon, and he has perhaps an E-Killer on the end. We'll see when we get into the battle. My start of Pokemon will be the basic Pokemon Darkrai. He's pretty much my designated lead, and I see no reason why not to lead with him. So let's get started. I lead with Darkrai, and my opponent leads with Yveltal. Of course, Dark Void. Unfortunately, I missed the first time, but I get a second chance and I put this Pokemon to sleep, which will help me out a lot because Yveltal is very dangerous. He switches out, and so do I. I was hoping to get a setup chance, but he goes into Kyogre, and I'm fearing an Ice Beam or a Thunder, one of those, and that will severely weaken my Salamence. So I decided to switch out, preserve Salamence. He will be able to sweep in the end, at least so I hope. So I have to keep him healthy. He might turn out to be a game saver for me. So I switch out, and I have a very good switch in to Kyogre, which is my own primal Groudon. And since I came in second, the weather changes into intense sun, and that means I can't be hit with any water type attack. So Water Spout is off the table, and since I'm ground type, Thunder also won't affect me. Only an Ice Beam will hurt me, but I do think I can take a few of those. So Groudon is my primary switch into Kyogre, and he will switch out. There's no reason for him to stay in. I am predicting him to switch into his own Groudon, since the sun will benefit him too. So I decided to go for Earthquake. As you can see, it does work out for me. He's switching Groudon, and I bring him down to 28%, and I do win the speed tie on the next turn, so I can take out this huge threat to my team with relative ease. So that's awesome. That's a very good start. Now he switches in Lugia, and as I mentioned before, Lugia is great to play with, but it's also a very hard Pokemon to get rid of. I decided to go for Stone Edge here to see if I can do some damage. It's super effective, but with the Calm Minds up, I don't do a lot, and I was kind of banking on a crit here, which would really help me out. But seeing damage I do without a crit, seeing Roost up and missing, I figured Groudon isn't the Pokemon to use to bring down his Lugia. So I switch out into my own Lugia. The reason behind it is quite simple. If he's using Aeroblast, I can take a few hits. I can set up some Calm Minds of my own, and that way get rid of him. I am using the Ice Beam myself, so that might help me getting rid of this Pokemon. So I feel safe, still got my multi-skill intact, so I decided to go for another Calm Mind, but that kinda turns out to be a mistake here. My opponent doesn't have Ice Beam, but he's using a different move which will come in very handy for him in this turn. He uses Roar, so all my setup time is gone. I am not a multi-skill anymore, and I have no way to beat this Lugia, as it seems for now. I do attempt to get some Paralyze hacks, and that's really gonna help me out in a bit. And switch back in Lugia, hoping to catch him on a full para, get a setup off, and perhaps attack. So I start off with scouting damage, but seeing damage, I'm getting kinda disappointed here. He switches me into my Scissor, which I really like to keep safe, so I switch back into Groudon, hoping to get a Stone Edge crit, but as it turns out I won't, and look at that damage done to my Groudon. It's so much. This Lugia after setup is so strong. This really shows how strong Lugia can be. Now, looking at my team, I'm kinda calculating the way that I can win. It's difficult for me. I don't know how, so I figured he's paralyzed. Perhaps I can get some flinch hacks, get him down low enough, perhaps use a different one to revenge kill, or at least get its HP below 50, and I go for rock slides. And I must say, so far I wasn't that lucky, but from here on I'm very lucky with the hacks. So sorry to my opponent. It really sucks when it happens, but I guess I really needed them. That crit helped me very much, and the paralyzation helped. So yeah, Salamence is a lifesaver for me right here. I had no other way to get rid of Lugia, so I'm very happy with the result here. He switches in his Arceus Fairy, which means that I have to switch out. Unfortunately, I switch in my Palkia, which is a big mistake, of course. He uses a Judgment, brings me down way down low, and I pretty much sack my Palkia here. There's one Pokemon that can scare out this Arceus Fairy, which is Scizor. I go for a Bullet Punch to see the damage, and seeing that Yveltal is still pretty bulky, I decided to go back into my Darkrai. Fortunately, my opponent switches out into another Pokemon, and this is a very interesting part of the game. Kyogre has become a big problem to my team. Why? Because I have no switch-ins left for Kyogre. My Groudon is gone. There's nothing I can do to really hurt this Kyogre, so I have to rely on some hacks. And fortunately, upon switching in, I hit him with Sludge Bomb and he gets poisoned. So I'm figuring that if the poison brings him down some more, I might be able to revenge kill him. So I decided to sacrifice Lugia, which kinda hurt my feelings because I really like Lugia, but sorry bro, you gotta go. I bring back in my Darkrai, who will outspeed this Kyogre, and hoping for a high roll, but unfortunately I don't. This crit really didn't matter, and luckily the poison takes him out. So there's one big threat gone for my team. He brings in Mewtwo, which is a prime opportunity to bring in my own Scizor, and I can take that hit, no problems, and U-turn will take him out. So right now things are turning out a bit better for me. I have to switch out here. Arceus can take out my my Pokemon, no problem, but Scizor can take both the attacks Arceus goes for, and that allows me to go for a Bullet Punch, and from here I think that Salamence will be able to take him out. I got Earthquake, and it does, which means not only beating Hitmon but also the game, because my opponent doesn't see a way to win from here and he decides to give up. So yeah, it's a new tier. I'm trying to get used to it. I've got a lot of things to learn, guys, so I really hope that you guys can give me some pointers. And with that, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time, guys. See ya.